Welcome back to 504 Road Trips. I'm Elmer Shufflebottom, and I'll be your narrator today. Today's city tour isn't really a city, but two barrier islands off the west coast of Florida. We'll work our way south and then east, along Captiva Island and Sanibel Island. Travel, tourism, and hospitality are the main industries on these two islands. Captiva Island is an unincorporated community and had a population of 318 permanent residents covering just over a square mile of land. Notable visitors to Captiva include Charles Lindbergh, who often landed his plane on the beach near Tween Waters Inn. The old Captiva House restaurant and several guest cottages have been recognized as historically significant by Lee County. The Bubble Room, a unique restaurant built in 1979, features old toys from the 1930s and 1940s and continues to expand its collection. It plays music from the era and was one of the first places on Captiva Island to use the bright pastel colors now common here. Pepperidge Farm even created a cookie named after the island. The Captiva cookie is a dark chocolate brownie flavor. According to local legend, Captiva got its name because a pirate supposedly held his female prisoners on the island for ransom. However, this story likely originated from an advertising brochure by an early 20th century developer and might not be true. Hurricane Charlie hit Captiva Island in 2004, destroying many homes, condos, and businesses, but the island quickly bounced back. In September 2022, Hurricane Ian caused major damage to the island's causeway and infrastructure. Recovery from Hurricane Ian has been slow, with many businesses, including the Bubble Room, still in the process of rebuilding. Some have only recently reopened in the summer of 2024. Here we cross Blind Pass, which separates Captiva Island from Sanibel Island. The pass connects the Gulf of Mexico with the Pine Island Sound. In contrast to Captiva, Sanibel is an incorporated city and had 6,382 residents at the 2020 census. Sanibel Island is part of the Cape Coral-Fort Myers, Florida Metropolitan Statistical Area, with most of the city located at the island's eastern end. The Sanibel Causeway was constructed in 1963 to replace the ferry, and the city was incorporated in 1974. Residents have maintained control over development through the Sanibel Comprehensive Land Use Plan, balancing growth and ecological preservation. Only buildings constructed before incorporation exceed 2 to 3 stories. Sanibel Island is a popular tourist destination known for its shell beaches and wildlife refuges, such as the J.N. Ding Darling National Wildlife Refuge, which covers more than half the island. The island also hosts the Sanibel Historical Village and the Bailey Matthews National Shell Museum. Southwest Florida rarely experiences direct hurricane strikes, but it suffers significant hits approximately every 20 years and major ones about every 40 years. Sanibel Island has been affected by many of these storms. On August 13, 2004, Hurricane Charlie, a Category 4 storm with 143 mile-per-hour winds, caused extensive damage, particularly to non-native Australian pines, which blocked roads. Wildlife officials reported destruction of bird and sea turtle nests. The Sanibel Lighthouse remained largely undamaged, while the Causeway sustained minor damage, except for a tilted toll booth and an eroded seawall. Residents evacuated before the storm were unable to return until August 18th due to downed trees, power lines, and a lack of potable water and sanitation. Temporary City Hall operations were set up in a Fort Myers hotel until services could be restored. On September 28, 2022, Hurricane Ian, a strong Category 4 storm, caused extensive damage to Sanibel Island, particularly the Sanibel Causeway, which partially collapsed, cutting off road access to Sanibel and Captiva Islands. Sanibel's beaches are famous for the large quantities of seashells, including sand dollars, that wash ashore. This is due to the island's barrier nature and its east-west orientation, unlike most north-south islands. These factors contribute to the island's great sandy beaches and abundant shells, attracting visitors worldwide. Collecting shells, known as the Sanibel Stoop, is a popular activity. The island has beaches around its perimeter, including along the Causeway, which are also popular for fishing and windsurfing. However, beach parking is limited, making it challenging to find a spot during the high season. We return to the Gulf Beach here as we drive on West Gulf Drive. Along here, as well as Middle Gulf Drive, you can find most of Sanibel Island's accommodations, such as hotels and resorts. Other types of businesses and restaurants are found further inland on Periwinkle Way, although most resorts include restaurants and bars on site. And while they may be pricey, it's worth it to be right there on the beach. Head out at low tide and bring along a bucket. There are seashells as far as the eye can see, and you're free to take as many as you like, as long as there isn't anything living inside of the shell. Finally, continuing to work our way backwards, off of the island, we take the Sanibel Causeway back to the mainland. The Sanibel Causeway crosses San Carlos Bay and is made up of 3 separate 2-lane bridge sections. The highway touches down on 2 man-made islands between these sections. The causeway is 3 miles long, and there's currently a $6 toll for vehicles going to the island. From 1912 to 1963, ferries were used to connect Sanibel Island to the mainland. Many early residents opposed building a bridge because they thought it would ruin the island's beauty and isolation. However, by the mid-1950s, the ferries couldn't handle the increasing demand, causing long lines. A wildfire in 1955 made the county realize a bridge would improve access for firefighters. They chose the current route because the bay was shallow there, allowing them to create 2 causeway islands by dredging. Construction took 15 months and cost $2.73 million. The Sanibel Causeway opened on May 26, 1963. By the early 1990s, the bridges were deteriorating quickly due to the saltwater. Major repairs were needed, and Lee County briefly considered replacing them with a single 4-lane bridge. This idea was dropped because residents opposed it. In 1997, more repairs were made, but the deterioration continued. In 2001, the county planned to replace Bridges B and C and make major repairs to Bridge A, with Bridge A being the drawbridge and the closest bridge to the mainland. In early 2003, during a routine inspection, severe cracks were found under a 48-foot section of Bridge B. The damaged section was reinforced with steel pilings, and speed limits were lowered to 10 miles per hour on Bridge B and 20 miles per hour on the rest of the causeway. A temporary 10-ton weight limit was also set. The 48-foot section was replaced with a steel grate section on January 20, 2003, and the causeway reopened ahead of schedule. After this, Lee County decided all 3 bridges needed to be replaced. There was a debate on whether to replace the drawbridge with another drawbridge or a high-span bridge. The county wanted a high-span bridge, while some residents preferred another drawbridge. The county's plan won, and construction of the high-span bridges began in May 2004. The new bridges officially opened on September 8, 2007. On September 28, 2022, Hurricane Ian caused severe damage to the causeway and the mainland approach, cutting off road access to Sanibel and Captiva Islands. No deaths or injuries were reported. Emergency repairs allowed trucks to use the causeway by October 11th and all vehicles by October 20th. Permanent repairs were reportedly completed in early 2024, although some construction was still evident as of this filming in July of 2024. The improvements were designed to help the causeway better withstand future storms without cutting off access to the mainland. The islands between the bridges are operated as the Causeway Islands Park by Lee County Parks and Recreation. The islands are known as Island A and Island B, and they function as public beaches. Island B has restroom facilities on both sides of the road. These islands have always been popular spots for beachgoers who enjoy windsurfing and kitesurfing. However, the construction we see along the way strictly involves these islands, and recreational activities are currently prohibited. The speed limit along the entire causeway is reduced to 20 miles per hour to ensure the safety of the construction workers. Bicyclists, who are typically allowed to use the causeway, are encouraged to find another form of transportation to and from Sanibel Island due to safety issues, and pedestrians are prohibited on the entire causeway. Considering the damage to the causeway bridges during Hurricane Ian less than 2 years before the filming of this video, it would be expected that the islands suffered significant erosion, and restoration of the man-made islands is still underway. As we reach the mainland, we pass through the toll facility, which is entirely electronic now and only charges a toll to island-bound traffic, and we'll conclude our tour here. Thanks for watching. We've enabled channel memberships, so for as little as $1 a month, you too can help support our channel and get early access to our regular videos as well as the occasional members-only video. Click the link in the description to join. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, post a comment, subscribe, share, and follow us on social media, and join us for our next 504 road trip.